Hi, it's Daphne. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the Quarter Year Crisis book tag. I'm going to link the original creator of this tag down in the subscription if you want to check out their video. I know there's a bunch of tags floating around, so you can watch them if you want. So the first question is, how many books have I read so far this year? So since this is a quarter year crisis, I'm going to just cap it off at the end of March. I'm filming this mostly through April, but I'm just gonna do the stats from the end of March. So it's proper quarter year. So I read 19 books. Is that on par with my goal is the question. So I have a Goodreads goal of completing 60 books by the end of this year. So I'm pretty on track. So if it's like 19 books, we could just round up and say it was 20 in one quarter. 20 times 4 is 80. So I'll most likely get to that 60 mark, no problem. Though my reading has kind of slowed down a bit, I feel like, in April. I don't know what my pace really is, but I should make the 60 mark, so that's good. The next question is, have you already found a book you think might be a 2022 favorite? If not, what was your favorite book you read that wasn't quite 5 stars? So I've only rated maybe 3 books 5 stars so far this year. One of them was a long shot. I talked about this in one of my wrap-up videos. This is a book, a romance contemporary sports book by Kennedy Ryan. And it's also Black love, but the book is like traumatizing in an exciting, thrilling way. It's like a thriller, to be honest. There's a lot of like domestic issues and violence with this woman's future ex, and she's kind of trapped in this relationship, and this other man, our real hero, is in love with her, and it's their journey through a long period of time trying to be happy, you know? So I rated this book 5 stars. I would definitely recommend it, but you might want to look up the trigger warnings because the book is like it is intense, and I really had no idea what I was getting myself into when I first picked it up. So I was very shocked, but it was such like a roller coaster ride in the best way that I couldn't help but give it 5 stars, because emotionally I was so invested, I was so moved, I was so in it, so deep that like I could not give it 5 stars. And then another book that is really high up there, I gave it 4 stars, but it's just an amazing book and it definitely deserves to be in this category, is The Fifth Season. That book is so intriguing. It's about this world that is very tumultuous and dangerous, and the environment is just like against the people, and there are some beings and some people that have these powers that relate to the earth, but they're kind of hated by the average person. And it's a story of 3 women, well, of 3 females, I guess you could say. It's 2 women and 1 young girl, and it's fascinating. The book is very intriguing. Every page I turned, I was like uncovering a new part of this world, and I had no idea what was going on, but it's like a mystery, like you're not really supposed to understand right away. And a lot of the fun is in figuring out how this world works, who are these people, how are they interacting with the world, what's going on, and yeah, it was really great. I'm excited to read the second book in the series. I have picked it up already, and we'll see how it goes. Obviously, it's very popular on BookTube, so I'm sure you've heard of it already, but from me to you, I would recommend. The next question is, have there been any 1-star books / least favorite books of the year so far? So I haven't rated any books 1 star at this point, which is nice. I'll usually just DNF if that's the case, and I've maybe DNF'd 2 books so far this year, but I didn't like log them anywhere, so I'm not gonna bother bringing them up. But I did have maybe 1 or 2 2-star reads, and the one that comes to mind first is Written in the Stars by Alexandria Bellefleur. Bellefleur, ooh, fun. This is a sapphic romance. It's like a retelling of, I think it's a retelling of Pride and Prejudice, because like I think the character's name is Darcy, and the main heroines have like a really bad first date, but Darcy is like really sick and tired of her brother setting her up on these dates, so she just says it goes fantastic just to get him off his case, and then it becomes this fake dating situation. It was cute. I just didn't vibe with it that much. I don't think like the overarching plot was that interesting for me personally, and I just wasn't like vibing with the connection between the two women as much as maybe somebody else might. I was just like a little bored, but I wouldn't say it's a bad book. Like if you're interested in reading a sapphic romance that has a Pride and Prejudice kind of element to it and a lot of like horoscope talk, it's cute, it's fun, it's light, it's fluffy, so you could still enjoy it. I just felt like I was skimming a lot of it because I just wanted to get it over with. Then the next question is, what genre have I read the most so far? And that's so obvious. I read romance books primarily. So out of the 19 books I've read up to the end of March, 4 of them have not been romances. 2 were fantasy and then 2 were nonfiction. So yes, I am a romance reader for sure. And then specifically out of that romance genre, I've read mostly historical. So yeah, but I'm trying to diversify more. I love me a good romance, but I'm trying new things too. Like currently I'm reading a mystery and I'm absolutely loving it. So there's that. Then it asks a book that surprised you. So I'm gonna put 2 books on here. I'm gonna say Long Shot again, and then I'm also gonna say How to Love a Duke in 10 Days by Kerrigan Byrne. And they both surprised me for similar reasons. I had no idea, just like I said in Long Shot, that How to Love a Duke in 10 Days also had this element of like sexual wrongdoing against a woman. Like she is literally raped on page in the first chapter. It's a trigger warning. It's not really a spoiler because it happens so early, but I don't really think it's explicitly called out in the synopsis. So when I went in, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I was like really taken aback. I was like disgusted. But seeing how this woman tries to push forward with her life and how she knows she deserves happiness, and this hero who doesn't know that this trauma happened to her, but like how sweet and kind he is to her for most of it. Obviously there's a conflict in the relationship because it's a romance and that's how they're built. But yeah, it just felt really realistic in my opinion. I haven't experienced anything like that, fortunately, but it felt very organic and believable and touching, and I really enjoyed myself. I also gave this book 5 stars, and I would obviously recommend it. And it really surprised me. Surprised me because I had no idea I was getting myself into, and then it surprised me again by how well done I thought it was. Same with Long Shot. It surprised me that I was like emotionally torn apart by that book, but it was good. It was really good. Okay. Then it asks a book that's come out in 2022 already that you want to read but haven't yet. I am not like really the person that keeps up with new releases. The only way I get new releases is honestly through Book of the Month. I know Emily Henry's Book Lovers book is coming out in May, but that doesn't count for this question, even though I'm very excited for that. That's like one of the few new releases I'm really excited about. But if I had to pick like a new release, I'd probably pick from one of these books here, my Book of the Month books that are unread. This came out this year, I believe. This might have come out this year, this came out this year, and the Cartographers came out this year. So I'd probably pick the Cartographers just because a lot of people are excited about it online. And it's about a woman and her father. They're like map makers. I think they work in the New York Public Library, and something mysterious happens to her father, and he's found dead maybe with this, is it innocuous? Is that the good word? This really low-key like gas station map or something. But obviously it's kind of important. It's epically important. I don't know, but there's something about this map, and it's like a mystery or something with like fantasy elements, I've heard. So I'm intrigued. I'm not like in a rush to read it, but the cover, oh my God, it's so stunning. It's fucking beautiful. Absolutely amazing. One of my favorite covers that I've bought recently. Ugh. Honestly, I might have just bought this for the freaking cover, and then people were talking about it a lot, and I was like, oh, maybe that was actually a good choice. So I hope I love it. It's definitely outside of my typical genre, but I have been enjoying mystery things as long as they're not boring. If it's too normal, like I did not like the guest list because I just felt like it could have gone further. I want things to go further. I want things to be weird. I want things to be not just like so hyper realistic that it's almost like, why am I wasting my time reading this? You know, I just don't care. Like I want the reveals to be like, oh my God, you know? So maybe that will be this, and yeah. So this is the new release I'm excited for. The next question is a goal you made that you're succeeding at. I don't remember making any particular goals, but I feel like I really wanted to focus more in general on reading more people of color in my reading habits. So I have been prioritizing that more. In my tracker and stuff, I double count people. I just count like each book and the author's race there. So statistically, as of March, I've read 11 books by white authors. That's double counted if I've read multiple books by the same person. 1 book by an Asian author, 1 by a brown author, and then 6 by Black authors. So that is well improved versus how I've done in the past. Obviously, it's still leaning more white, but like the book industry is oversaturated with white authors, and there's obviously no hate towards white authors. I love their books as well, but I wanted to diversify more, and I've been doing that. So I'm quite proud of myself for that. In the past, it wasn't something I ever thought about. I would just pick up whatever books were available, and they tended to lead towards white authors. So I'm very pleased with myself. I have diverse books on my shelves as well that I'm excited to get to. And yeah, May, Cindy is doing her Asian readathon, I think she's calling it, which she's been doing for years, and I'm gonna participate in that. I have plenty of Asian books on my shelves that I'm excited to get to, and what a perfect excuse to read them. Then it asks me a goal you made that you need to focus on more. So I would say I need to focus more on reading the physical books that I own. It's always easier for me to just read off my Kindle, read off Kindle Unlimited, read off the library app, because it's more convenient to like read in bed when Chase is sleeping and it's dark, or read on the go because it's so small and I can just throw it in my purse. But I have so many good books on my shelves. I also try to buy books that I'm excited about, that I think I'll love and I want to keep. Minus the book of the month ones. Like those are just like, they're gonna come in physical format because that's how book of the month works. But I'm trying new things. Book of the month is where I like experiment, so I don't know if I'm gonna love those books, but I have them physically. But all the other books that I buy at the bookstore, I only buy books that I think I'm gonna love, unless I get them like secondhand and I can buy it for like $2 and I'll just give something a shot. But yeah, if I think I'm gonna love the book and I own it physically and I have it on my shelf, I need to prioritize reading those books more. So I'm gonna come up with a strategy of like pushing myself to do that. So that might be coming in another video, that strategy. I have like a reading strategy in general that I'm planning on coming up with, and maybe I'll put it in its own video. And then the last question is, new to you booktubers, bookstagrammers, booktalkers for 2022 that you'd recommend. I don't really participate that much on Bookstagram or BookTok. I'll watch BookTok, but I don't like subscribe to BookTalkers. And then Bookstagram, I only follow Booktubers, so I'll find them on Booktube first, and then maybe if they have a Bookstagram, I'll follow it. But the newest people I want to talk about are Kaylee from Kaylee's Kawaii Corner. She's so sweet, very supportive here on Booktube. If you are new, go check her out. She's a sweetheart. And then I also wanted to shout out Kushi Kishore. She's so cute too. She's very young. I think she's in school in like England or something, and she's very excitable. So if you're looking for that kind of content and the books she likes, definitely check out these two YouTubers, very sweet here on BookTube. So that wraps up the quarter year crisis book tag. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in another video. Bye.